Welcome back to Maelstrom Gaming Studios. Today we're going to do part 2 of our Hive Fleet overviews, and we're going to look at the custom Hive Fleets given to us in the Blood of Baal rulebook. This will be good, again, for new players, or if you are a veteran player and you just want a little bit of variety in your life.
Some extra ideas, perhaps.
Yeah, there's always something you're willing to learn. If you think you'll find this video useful, please like and subscribe.
And hit the bell icon.
It really helps out a small channel like us grow. With that being said, let's get into the video. So some background before we get into it. There are many ways you can make custom Hive Fleets, but there's a list and there are 16 of them. You have to pick 2 of these from the list, and this is your new custom Hive Fleet. Typically, these custom Hive Fleets are more niche, less competitive than the current top Hive Fleets from the rulebook.
Yep.
It lets you build an army the way you want, really. It's a much more of a fluffy thing, variety. You want to play Monster Mash, this will help out. You want to play Swarms.
That's true.
It's much more of a fun variety than it is a competitive tool.
Yeah, and like we said, there's a lot of custom Hive Fleets. We'll be ranking them in 3 categories. The first being, don't even use them if you're trying to have fun, because they're not fun.
No.
Niche situations, which is where you can start experimenting, having fun with them. And then there are a couple that are pretty good.
Yeah, there's
you could use them instead of the regular Hive
Yeah,
Fleets.
if you tech your army into those ones, then you actually can get some good results with them.
Yep.
All right, and then at the end, stay tuned. We will show you a couple of our favorite combos and some way to make them work. All right, with that being said, the first rank,
Don't touch.
don't touch these ones. So we can go back and forth. The first one, Bestial Nature. Add 2 to your attacks when your models are in the lowest bracket. I mean, why would you plan your army around being almost dead?
Yeah,
sure.
That's a great point.
Your Hive, I mean, most models lose attacks when they're going down, so...
And they lose, I mean, a lot of them lose weapon skill. Like you said, they lose attacks, so what are you gaining from this?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of some time this would be useful.
There might be a single situation where this is beneficial, but we don't know.
I got it.
Oh, really?
A Hive Tyrant does not lose the number of attacks.
So...
Therefore, when it's in its lowest bracket...
Does he lose weapon skill?
No. Ooh, yeah, he does.
He does?
He goes to 3s only. He's 2s, 3s... Nah, he's 2, 3s. Yeah, don't even bother. I was going to say, there's a stratagem. When your monster dies, you can fight again with it, but it counts as being in its lower bracket.
Yeah.
I mean, I am fishing for something here, but it's bad.
Yeah, we're trying. All right.
Okay.
The second one is Biosphere Consumption. It is a 6+ Feel No Pain if on a monster, if that monster didn't move. So, I would say it's a hair above the first one because... Maybe an exocrine that did move.
Yeah,
it can do something.
But just play Leviathan, and then you can move.
Wow, that's unarguable. I can't even try to argue with that.
Another horrible one: Horror from Beyond. Subtract 1 of the leadership if you're within 3 inches of monster. Maybe there's a way you can get some cool combo off, but
with the leadership psychic power.
Yeah, there's a couple things you could... Well, yeah, it's just... Why would you build your whole army around this?
Don't do it.
Maybe you could take a very small patrol detachment, waste 2 command points, and have some weird combo with leadership in here.
So this one, there could be a little fluff reason.
But maybe not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Senses of the Outer Dark gives you a 4+ Feel No Pain during Overwatch. Now, as we know, this codex, the current Tyranid 1, came out during 8th edition.
Yep.
When overwatching happened constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you overwatch once a game, if that. Unless you're Tau. Tau are different. But don't use it.
Unless your buddy is playing Tau, then it might work. Otherwise...
Basically, only against Tau is the only time you'll ever use it.
Yeah. The last one is Shrewd Predators. You don't have to consolidate towards the nearest enemy. There might be some niche situations where you consolidate backwards into cover or backwards toward an objective,
I would say that's the
But-
best of the terrible ones.
It is. It's the best of the terrible, but it's
Yeah.
still, there's so much more you could do than
Yeah.
consolidating.
And I would say that wraps up our worst of the Hive Fleets.
The worst ones. So
Middle.
now, yeah, middle of the rank. These ones, some of these have some play. You probably won't take 2 from this list, but you could take 1 from here and pair it from 1 from our next list.
Can you take 2 from... You can just take any 2.
Any 2.
Any 2.
Yep. So these might work out. One of these might work out with another combo,
They
but
have uses now.
yeah. So the first one, adaptive exoskeleton. All of your Gaunt models have a 6-up invuln save instead of a 6-up armor save. I mean, it could. If you're bringing a lot of Gaunts, always
Yeah.
having a 6-up might be useful.
And Gaunts includes gargoyles, so
It does.
Termagants, Hormagaunts, and gargoyles.
It
alright.
might come out if you're playing big swarms.
Yeah. Next we have cranial channeling. Reroll 1 psychic test per psyker per turn. Now, yeah,
Yeah,
it could do something.
if you're going a psychic heavy army where you
Yeah.
got a Neurothrope or 2, Hive Tyrants, Swarmlord,
Yeah.
Zonethropes, Maliceptors.
Yeah.
If you play psychic heavy army, you absolutely want to have this because, I mean, those are free command point rerolls essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. Although psychic is very important to Tyranids, I don't know if you want to use your army-wide buff on that, but
Potentially. I
Maybe.
mean, Zonethropes.
yeah,
Zonethropes are really good if you take them in big blocks.
yeah,
There's way. I think this
something there.
it has some play, but again, it's niche.
sure.
Yep. The next one is membranous mobility. If you are a flying unit, you are -1 to hit in close combat. This is great for your Hive Tyrants
Yeah,
and your Gargoyles, but other than that, it's not really going to help out a whole lot.
yeah. I think this definitely makes a lot of sense in the niche category, because if you are just kind of trying to have fun and use like a all flyer list or a flyer heavy list,
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
do something.
it's got some potential. I mean, you could bring a patrol detachment of 2 flying Hive Tyrants.
Yeah, and a bunch of gargoyles.
But, well, no, not a patrol. You would take an outrider. So you could take 2 Hive
yeah.
Tyrants, a whole bunch of gargoyles, and it could be good.
Could do something.
Yeah.
Next, we have hypermetabolic acceleration. All it does is gives you reroll your advance roll. And like we said when we were talking about it off camera, just use Kraken.
Yeah.
Just use Kraken.
Unless you really, I don't know. I mean, niche, you could pair this with another one. Getting reroll advances is always nice.
So it's basically like part of Kraken, and you can pair it with
Something else instead.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feeding Frenzy, you can pile in 6 inches instead of 3. This, I mean, it's good for if you're playing a close combat heavy army. Being able to move an extra 3 inches to tag more units.
Yeah.
Sure, tagging isn't as potent in 9th edition as it was in 8th, because vehicles can shoot. There's stratagems to fall out of tagging or surrounding.
Mm-hmm.
But still having extra mobility is always nice in the combat army.
I think this one could come up a little more than you would expect.
Yeah.
Spore Mine Sis is the next one. It gives you fallback. You can fall back and advance in the same turn. So,
I mean, it's the other half of Kraken,
Yeah.
kind of. So, again, if you want to play close combat army, it's something you can use.
yeah.
Niche, not horrible. Definitely nothing to scoff at fallback and it's fallback and advance. So I take that back. It's not quite the other half of Kraken. It's not fallback and charge. It's fallback and advance.
It's like a lighter version of that.
Yeah, it's Kraken light.
Yeah.
But
true.
if you can fall back and go towards objectives or something,
Yeah.
but it just gives you more mobility.
Yeah. Okay.
The last one, Morphic Sinews. No penalty to advancing and firing assault weapons on your monsters. There aren't many monsters that this will take advantage of this, but things like Carnifexes, Trigons, your Toxicrins.
Turvagon. Will that come up even?
You could with your Turvagon, technically.
Probably don't though.
But I mean, on your Carnifexes is the big one where you can get 24 shots with those Twin Link Death Spitters.
Yeah.
And then you can still move 7, advance D6, and you still hit on 3s with shooting. If you
True.
play a Carnifex heavy list, it's a good idea.
Yeah. So if you have a bunch of Carnifex models,
Try it
consider
out. Try it out. And now for the real meat and potatoes here, these ones have army-wide potential as long as you build your army around these combos here.
They could actually be good.
Yep.
First off, we have Biometallic Cysts. All standard Scything Talons gain AP -1, which affects Hormagaunts, Gene Stealers,
Warriors, Raveners.
Yeah.
It actually affects the Moloch because he doesn't have monstrous Scything Talons, he just has normal ones.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of weird.
So basically, it gives your small and medium things with Scything Talons AP -1.
Which is great,
good.
yeah, for your standard. I mean, Scything Talons are good. Their problem is they don't have any AP.
Essentially giving close combat things, smaller close combat things, AP -1 army-wide.
Yeah. The next one, Metamorphic Regrowth. All models in your army regain 1 wound at the start of each of your turns.
Essentially giving them bio-living metal. If you're
a Necron player,
yeah.
living metal, but for Tyranids.
Yeah.
It's good. If you play monster heavy, you got a lot of warriors, Ripper Swarms, everything. Just getting an extra wound helps out over the turn.
It can make a difference.
It can.
In certain situations. Next up, we have Pack Hunters. When you outnumber your enemy in close combat, you gain AP -1. So this is slightly different from Biometallic Cysts because it's going to give anything with a big squad AP -1. Does that stack up with your other weapons?
Yes, it does. As you will see in the combos,
Oh, right.
it does stack.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well,
it works on anything. Yep.
We'll get to that then.
Prey Sight, a great one. Monsters gain +1 to hit if they charge or have been charged or perform a heroic intervention is another tag on that. +1 to hit is great on your monsters, especially because a lot of the Tyranid monsters, there's no way to modify how well they hit in combat.
Yeah, pretty much one of your only frustrations with Tyranids. That's pretty solid. And the final one, we have Synaptic Augmentation. When within 6 inches of a Synapse creature or Psychic creature, re-roll a single hit in Overwatch, in Shooting, and in the fight phase.
Yes.
So you get to re-roll a hit in each of those
3 phases.
Okay.
Which this works well for things like warriors, or I mean, you could do again Carnifexes when they can work in both shooting and psychic phases.
Yeah.
It work for a lot of balanced units.
Yeah.
You could put this on your Tyrannofexes who've got the big,
like 2-shot.
the big 6-shot if you
6-shot
stand
now?
still,
Yeah.
or 8-shot. Anyway, the big rupture cannons.
Rupture
It
cannon.
gives you another option to reroll. You can reroll your 2s if
Yeah.
you roll 2s. Fight phase, if you only have 4 attacks, you can re-roll those. It helps out with Swarmy a lot because he has no way to re-roll his 1s. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad one. Kind of like Salamanders, but in a way, a little different and in some ways a little better.
Yeah.
So now,
for the fun part,
we'll give you 3 of our favorite combos that we think actually have some pretty good potential, comparing them to some of the other...
close to the non-custom ones.
Yeah, right in the middle of the pack. They may not be the best ones, but if you tech into them, they're going to
probably better than
a couple of them,
Hydra.
like Hydra, looking at you, and Gorgon.
Some various other ones,
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first one, you mentioned to this a little bit.
Yeah.
Pack Hunters and Biometallic Cysts. These 2 stack on each other, so great for Hormagaunts, Gene Stealers, Warriors, and Raveners.
Yeah.
All your big units. And that will make your Scything Talons base AP -2.
In a way, you could say this would almost be like a better way to run, like big squads.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a different way if you want to play mass Hormagaunts.
Yeah.
I mean, putting them on Gene Stealers, now your Gene Stealers are hitting on... You're hitting with your Scything Talons, so you're hitting on 2s or 3s if you've got a Broodlord in there.
Yeah.
Rerolling 1s to hit, and now you have AP -2 built in. Whereas before you're trading off between the rerolls and the AP.
Right.
Now you have both.
That's actually pretty good.
Pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
Raveners, if you take 2 pairs of Scything Talons, you have 5 attacks a model, hitting on 2s or 3s if you have the Red Terror with them or not.
Yeah.
Then you're getting to reroll 1s, and now you're AP -2 base.
Yeah.
We'll start doing some serious damage in close combat.
Solid.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Second one is going to be the combination of Prey Sight and Metamorphic Regrowth. Generally good for monster heavy lists that do a lot of close combat.
Yeah, again, your prey sight, because all of your monsters are going to get +1 to hit. Your Toxicrins are going to be hitting on 2s. Your Carnifexes will get the bonus. Harusfexes, you've seen me use it on the channel. Well, you will see me use it on the channel.
Upcoming.
Yes, upcoming battle report. This allows you to hit on 3s now with the Harusfex instead of 4s.
It's a pretty significant difference.
It's
though.
a good one. It's
Yeah.
a very good one. And our last combo is a fun shooting one. Probably not the best out of these 3, but it has some potential. Is Synaptic Augmentation and Morphic Sinews. This is great for your Carnifex heavy shooting lists because you can be mobile with your Carnifexes and you can still get some good rerolls with, if you're using heavy venom cannons, that Synaptic Augmentation will allow you to reroll a couple of those hits to be more consistent with your heavy venom cannons, while being able to move your Carnifexes around 7 plus D6 inches and still shoot 24-inch range or 18-inch range 24 shot guns.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
those are
good.
Our favorites between them.
Those are 3. There are so many more combos you can do with them. Again, they might not be the most competitive, but it allows more fluffy players, fluffy, narrative, not going for competitiveness.
Right.
Anyone who just wants to have some fun with their Tyranids, allows you to kind of build whatever army you want and still give them a bonus in some way.
Yeah, I think that's something to be said about Tyranids is that they have one of the fluffiest codexes as of right now. You can just include so much stuff in your list building.
You can build them however you want. They might not be the most competitive anyway.
Yeah.
But with these, it at least gives you some sort of option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is it. It's a much shorter video than our last one with going over the Hive Fleets because it's a bit simpler.
Yeah, it is simpler.
Not as much to think about. If you found this video useful and you want to see more like it for the Tyranids or for other codexes, please like and subscribe. Comment below some of combinations you've tried. If they aren't these, what are some of your favorites? Do you agree with our rankings? With that being said, I think that's everything we've got today. Have a great day and stay tuned for the next one.
Thanks for watching, guys.